Set this off to the side. So we'll know where the other one goes. Next we have a 10mm socket. We want to remove the hood latch and to keep hold of these screws. So we're going to need them again. Take this cable out of here. Work it out of there. And we'll take the tabs right there. So we want to route this through here, snap it back in, just like the old one was. And then we'll push that up around that clip and get it in behind that. And now we can reattach our latch using the 2 screws that come out. Make sure we have it lined up with the old lines. The lines where the old latch came off. Tighten it down to 11 Newton meters, 8 foot-pounds, what they call for. Okay, next we'll take our wiring harness, go up underneath the front support, grill support, and hook it into the connector on the new hood latch, and then we press the red tab in to hold it. We're going to zip tie this here in a few minutes. Before we get into the electrical portion of it, we need to disconnect the negative battery terminal. Put it off to the side. Back where the other wire harness is. Here. I'm going to follow the other harness that's there. That comes from the front. Comes from the front across the front behind the front of the radiator support there. Make sure you don't get that caught on anything and pull that end off. That's going to plug into our BCM connector underneath the dash. Now at this point we can take this off. This ground cable. Got it through that. And that'll be our ground. Make sure it's not binding on this tab on the other side of that connector. And torque that down. there. Run this back behind the battery box there. Keep pushing it through here. And we'll run this down here. Back behind this wire, this harness. Okay. Now below this harness right here, if you can get this in here, there's a little nipple. A little nipple. Right under there. What we're going to need to do with that nipple is just cut the tip of it off. With some snips, some kind of wire cutters. And don't cut your finger. Alright, now that that's off, we can take our wire. And feed it through. Don't know, you probably won't be able to see it, it's kind of tight up in here. Feed it through that nipple. Push it as far as you can push it until it won't go anymore. Let's see that. See if you can see where I'm feeding it through. There's our purple wire coming through the firewall. Pull this on through. Be careful because the wire loom starts coming through the hole. May have to get back out and push that through. All we had to wind up doing was the tape was a little bit thick on the end of that loom, and so what I had to do was spray a little bit of WD-40 on it, and it slipped right through there with no problem after that. What we need to do now is locate the BCM, which is right there. Some models may have a amplifier. Mine does not. Have to take that first connector off of the BCM. It's a little tricky here with this module plugged in. It's like this, it's locked in. And you had to get in behind and push that little tab right there to pull the gray lock back over it, like so. Then you can pull it on off of the module. Okay, now we should be able to get right in here, that little tab, and get right in there behind that little tab right there and release it, and that should slide out of that casing. Just like that. And what we want to do is take our wire from our harness, and it's got to go into pin 11. And this part here has to be on the outside so it'll lock in. But we found pin 11. It's right in. It's the second one from this end right here. Second one from this end right there. So I'll get that in there and we'll get right back on it. Right, the connector. Connector will be marked with a number 12 right at the top corner. So one right next to that, if there is a wire in there, that wire needs to come out, and our wire needs to go in there. So we push that wire in there till you hear a little click. Alright, to put this little housing back on there, we'll want to slide this back in to there. Get it lined up with the bottom. And it slides in, and it'll hook back into that little clip. Sorry about the focus. But it goes back in that little clip that I showed you earlier. Okay. Okay, we have our zip ties on. Right here and right back here. We'll slip it back into the connector, into the BCM itself. Give it a firm push, and that'll trip back up. Then you'll take your gray connector and pull back down and lock it in place. Make sure it's seated good. So we'll be good to go right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to secure the harness with zip ties. Right in here, rope in here, and some zip ties here. That little flap should fold down. Okay. Won't be able to get any back there. I'll zip tie one right here. Through here. Hose, this is for your washer fluid. I wouldn't zip tie around that, of course. snip these off. We'll slip our cover back on. Put these connectors back into the slots, into the holes. Get a little tough to get in there. Connector, our negative battery terminal. Give it a good, just a firm tight. Don't want to tighten it too tight. Make sure it doesn't move. Our new latch with the safety switch on it. And check the hood closing. Seems to fit nicely. Our next step is to go to the dealership. I just got back from the dealership and we have our remote start working. Everything seems to be good with it. Alright, to the next one.